All right, hello everybody, and welcome back. We've got our players. We got Will Hirst up against Mike Arnold. They're getting ready, and we have Mike Arnold has won the die roll. I guess we need to talk about their decks, but I'm back with Flint. He's doing this next round with me. Let's
Hey,
look
folks.
at what decks they have available. So, I jumped the gun. I should have brought. I spoiled to everyone what Will's playing. But the decks of it that Will has, he has Fluctuator, Sly, and Stasis. He played Stasis last week, so he'll be playing either Fluctuator or Sly. And then Mike Arnold has Star Spangled Slaughter, Dead Guy Ale, and then Secret Force, which he played the Secret Force last week. So do you know? Did either of the players let you know what they're playing?
Will was talking some game that he was on Fluctuator because he didn't want to play Fluctuator against Alvaro, but Will didn't know coming into this whether or not Alvaro was going to be on Dreadnought in the third week.
Okay.
So I had kind of suspected that Will was going to play Sly because he's up against two mid-range decks, and those can be tough combo matchups. That's kind of what I was expecting that he was going to play, even though you just spoiled it. But I don't know what Mike Arnold's is going to be on. My guess is probably he's got Dead Guy, right? Probably Dead Guy would be my guess, but we'll see.
I was to say I could see Will shuffling up right now, and I think in the last week someone had made note of the color of Will's sleeves and that they were opposite of what you thought, and it's funny because now he's shuffling up red sleeves, so I don't know if that's something that's changed. So, but yeah, let's jump down to the decks. So yes, indeed, Will is playing his Sly deck. I guess the most notable thing that people have talked about, and I'm kind of curious of Will's reasoning, is he's not playing fetch lands in this list and still has the Grim Lavamancer, and so I'm not sure what the motivation of that is. If just the life points he feels like is really valuable. He is playing Wasteland, which is not in a lot of the red decks, but we'll see if that comes to fruition in this matchup. But are there any other like notable inclusions or exclusions in this list? I see there are a couple of copies of main deck Price of Progress.
Yeah, he's got two main deck Price of Progress, also three main deck Lava Darts, and he's running the patrols, one scroll instead of kind of the two or sometimes three that you see, and three Barbarian rings instead of the two. I ran three rings in my version of Sly. It's almost like he's trying to mash a couple different versions of Sly together. I've played Wasteland in Slyless as well. I know you and I have talked about that instead of Bobble. I haven't had much success with it, honestly. So this is a kind of an odd Sly list from my perspective. I'll
Yep.
be curious to see how it does. I don't know if I would run this list myself, but we'll see how it works for Will.
Yep. And so will be facing against the Dead Guy Ale list, and this is not necessarily the standard run of the mill Dead Guy Ale. Mike has played Tainted Pack for a long time in these lists, and so you'll see like the land selection is very varied. There's like one tainted field, a gemstone mine, a city of brass. There's snow covered swamps and snow covered plains to make the use of tainted pack a little bit better. And I think I remember talking to Mike about that card a long time ago, and he doesn't look about it like as a combo piece or a tutor kind of thing. He kind of looks at it as like a black impulse. That
Yeah.
you're not going to dig super deep, and you're just going to say like, okay, I'm probably going to flip over a few cards and maybe not the like perfect card in this situation, but if it's like pretty good, then I'm not going to risk it. Which I do like that aspect of thinking it from that way. I guess the other thing that I'll talk about in the list is some people have talked about cutting Dark Ritual from the Degai Ale list, and we see that Mike is continuing to play those. So he's looking to
Yep.
ritual out the Phyrexian Arena or the Hypnotic Spectre.
Got a
So
Death Grasp too.
yep, there's a one copy of a Death Grasp. So
Yeah.
if that comes into play, that the life gain could be something that he's looking for. There are three copies of Exalted Angel in the main deck, and so that is probably a pretty key card in this matchup. I mean, then also the Gerard's Verdict also is a way to gain life. So, uh, is there anything you want to talk about this list or the matchup, or should we just jump down to things?
I think you covered it pretty well.
Okay,
Let's jump in.
here we go.
Looks like they both kept seven,
All right, we
and
got
Mike Arnold's on the play.
and sticky notes or something have made a goofy face or a smiley face from Will's card. So I think he was saying that he's always just happy to be playing Magic. So yeah, I should bring up Tainted Pact as a.
It's like a duress there.
Oh, so we see the something that Will's very known for is his modern frame cards, but it looks like Mike Arnold has pulled a 180 and is playing a bunch of cards just to show Will who's the true new frame boss, I guess.
The tables have turned.
Yes.
What is that? Is that a City of Brass? No, that's not a City of Brass. What is that? That's a.
It looks like a reflecting pool, but I'm not
I
sure.
think it's a reflecting pool. Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm very good at identifying pre-modern era card arts, and there's a lot more. This is a Tainted Pact, okay?
Tainted Pact.
Red
Yep,
Verdict.
in response to the Wasteland.
That's a snow-covered swamp.
Gonna scoop that up.
They'll just take that, okay?
Patrol's gonna get in for 2 here.
So I try to think. It's funny he could Mike. I'm just thinking of his other deck being the Star Spangled Slaughter one. He probably would have been able to run the same gambit. There are a lot of the new frame cards with that list as well. So either one that he wanted to pick, I think in this situation he'd be able to run this little troll event for Will.
Another Wasteland.
All right, Wasteland doing some work. Just down to the snow-covered swamp. The Goblin Patrol is getting in there. And there's a Grim Lavamancer that's added to the board, so that one just looks like a traditional swamp, I believe.
And a pass.
Yeah, with Mike just passing, this patrol's gonna keep patrolling, gonna keep doing his job, and as the life total ticks down, I think things just get harder and harder for Mike. I guess I mean like Exalted Angel is a card that, but the problem is I think it's very difficult in this situation to play it in face down because of the Grim Lavamancer. And are you getting to 6 mana with this board state? I don't think so. A Lightning Bolt and a turn plus a Grim Lavamancer activation will put Michael to 8, and he looks like he's close to dead, especially if there was a mountain for that ball lightning. But looks like there's not, so the patrol's just going in for 2.
This is a much safer route as well.
Yep. Hit a Fire Blast. Yep, activation of a Grim Lavamancer and a Fire Blast will take care of Mike Arnold, and so
that's gonna do it, folks.
The Sly deck doing quick work against the Dead Guy Ale. Yeah, that was quick and brutal. And the Wastelands actually did a lot of work, I think, in that situation. So let's jump to the decks, and we can look at sideboarding options for our players.
Ooh, goody.
So Michael Arnold has 2 copies of Planar Void, 2 Disenchant, 2 Warmth, 2 Withered Wretch, 2 Engineered Plague, 2 Infest, 1, I think it's a Sacred Ground, 1 Null Rod, and 1 Serenity. Certainly like the Warmth. I mean, I think this is the matchup where you're bringing those in. The Infests are maybe a card you could bring in. I mean, Sly doesn't have a ton of creatures, but like that situation, if you're able to get a 2-for-1 and clear up the pressure, that wouldn't be bad. But are there underperformer? Like, do you take out Phyrexian Arena in this matchup?
I think you take out Hypnotic Spectre.
I mean, also like Vindicate is pretty clunky. Like,
yeah,
I guess Vindicate
those ways. Oh, go ahead.
I would say Vindicate can take out like Sulfuric Vortex or Curse Scroll, but most of the time, if you're taking out a creature, then you probably would just rather have Infest, because you might get a 2-for-1.
Yeah, I think I'd take out the Spectres personally, but I haven't like ever really played Dead Gael. I built it very early on and like maybe played a couple matches for fun with you or something, but never really have played the deck much.
Yeah, a lot of these options seem not great.
Rich notes that Dark Ritual seems kind of bad here.
Yep. Let's look at the Sly list. So there's 2 copies of Meltdown, 2 Overload, 2 Pyroblast, 2 Flaring Pain, 2 Price of Progress, 2 Pyroclasm, 2 Crash, and Curse Scroll. I think I look at price of progress there.
Uh, yeah, price progress, big time. Other than that, maybe the scroll,
Okay.
because Michael's going to try to empty your hand, right? Chip away at stuff. It's kind of a way to grind out card advantage later in the match.
Yeah, I guess there are 2 copies of Price of Progress in the main, so you would be able to go up to the full 4. And Mike does have a number of basics. Like I think it's close to like 10 to 12. But and then also there is kind of an awkward tension with the Wastelands. But so
I know. I was thinking
maybe
about that.
maybe you don't go up to all 4, but I don't, I'm not sure. I mean, it will probably deal 4 damage on average at least, and that's definitely enough. So all right, we'll head back down to the match. See if Mike Arnold's able to take a game and equalize this match. But he's already looking on the back foot, as the slide deck can be pretty ruthless.
All
All
right, I
right.
just messaged them.
All right. I think Warmth is probably the sideboard card that he really needs. Otherwise, it seems like things just
Warmth is good. Retch is good.
yeah. Otherwise, his cards just don't seem like they line up that well against the red deck.
Can you still hear me, Mike?
Yeah, I can still hear you. It looks like I can see from my Streamlabs that it's saying reconnecting. So I think
Okay.
it should be back now. Try refreshing now if you're not
Okay.
able to hear me.
Looks like we're back.
Okay. All right, and so Mike's gonna kick off with. Honestly, I'm not sure. Is it a Caves of Koilos?
Oh, wow.
He's making my job a little
I
harder.
don't know.
We'll use context clues. It's just a basic swamp. Okay. Well, I know the second one was a basic swamp. Well, I mean,
Thanks, Lenny.
the text on the top makes it look like it's something different. So, all right, Will's gonna start with that's a shock. So, just go in quick. So he must have drawn the Jackal Pup, right? I don't. Is there any situation where you would lead shock over Pup?
I don't know. Not really. I think I'd always play turn one pup.
Yeah, there might have been a situation. I mean, like, I don't even think it's ever worth the risk to get that cute to be like, oh, I want if they have removal, it makes their sequencing so they like play a removal spell on a turn where they would rather cast something else.
Is that an arena?
I don't know. I would say it looks like a cranial
Looks like
extraction, but that cranial extraction's 4 mana and not legal in this format. So
Champions of Kamigawa is now legal in Premodern.
yeah.
Ooh, ball lightning comes down to punish that tap out.
Okay, big chunk of damage.
No snuff outs in Mike Arnold's deck. Be kind of a rough one to run in the deck anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Just I feel like getting hit by that ball lightning, and now you're like, yeah, I was a little more comfortable with my life total before, and then when a chunk of 6 gets taken out. All right, that was a 2 mana or a 1 mana spell. What was that spell?
Was it a Dark Ritual?
It must have been a Dark Ritual, and then a Massacre.
Yeah, it's just got a Massacre.
All right, so Chad has pointed out that the one land that we didn't know is a gemstone mine, thanks to the 3 counters on it. Wasteland's got a choice of targets. It's going to prompt Mike to cast Swords to Plowshares on the Jackal Pup, which
Yep.
um, might not actually be a situation where you would necessarily want to do that because he does have Masticore, and he might just want to pitch that card to Masticore and then like spend 2 mana to deal 1 damage with the Masticore. Um, so we'll see. Mike will refill his hand with the arena, and he discards. I think that's a City of Brass that he discarded.
Yeah, plays the plains.
Yeah, Lanny brings up that he might just want to plow his Masticore. So, if he doesn't have another copy of Plow, I think that might be a spot where it might have been a mistake to use the Plow on the pup.
Ooh, Will just running out of swamp and passing.
I think you're confused because I don't think Will has any swamps.
Or mountain, excuse me. I'm looking at Mike Arnold's lands as I'm saying this.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well,
Mountain.
the one benefit from Will's perspective is the Phyrexian Arena is ticking the Mike's life total down, so he might be able to accumulate enough burn spells, even from a position where it looks like he's disadvantaged.
Ooh, so Mike tapping his white source here. Although is that a Caves of Koilos next to the plains?
No, oh, the one in between that's untapped.
Yeah,
I
looks like it might be.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, so Mike is targeting himself, and so he's going to gain 6 life. So Gerard's Verdict does have the option to target a player. So he uses the secret alternate mode where you're going to use those cards that you've drawn with the Phyrexian Arena, discard it so that you can gain 6 life.
Gabe, it's because Will always plays new bordered cards, so that's what Mike Arnold's doing to Will.
All right, well, this Masticore is doing good chunks of damage. And so Will's got at most 3 turns. I guess that, well, yeah, I mean, maybe you could use a Fire Blast to keep the Masticore at bay for a turn, but you're probably not winning that game if you are doing that.
He's drawn at least 7 lands.
I think a tainted pact was. Oh no! So and then a swamp. Yeah, you're commenting on the number of lands that Will's drawn.
Yeah.
All right, Will has. How many cards does he have? 3 cards in hand.
4.
4.
No, he's got 3.
I guess if they're all good burn spells, then he has a chance. But drawing a creature in another land is.
This game is not looking good for the slide deck.
Will has definitely played fetch lands before in his slide deck, so I don't think availability is an issue for him.
Yeah, he definitely has them.
Yeah, lots of mountains from Will in this time. The Masticore make quick work of the Grim Lavamancer. And yeah, that Masticore went the distance. So a really timely Gerard's Verdict that like gaining the 6 life. Like, I mean, after that Phyrexian Arena came down and a chunk of 6 points like went away, I was a little weary of whether Mike was going to be able to stay in that game, but some key cards for Mike, and then also I think maybe a little bit below average draw from Will gave Mike a lot more time to live and have the Masticore go the distance. All right, so we are tied up as we go to game number 3 of our second match. Who are you liking in this third game, Flint?
I still think the slide deck is favored.
Yeah, I think like I think things have to go right, and things have to go like if things go right for both players, I think Will wins still.
Yeah.
Like I mean, maybe warmth changes that, but in general, I just think the slide deck is just so efficient, um, and yeah, I like the red deck in this situation still.
Well, we shall see. The decisive third game. Oh, did the first match go to 3 games, by the way, or was it just 2?
It was just two.
Okay, that's what I thought, but double checking.
Okay, we'll see if there's any more foreign arts that I don't recognize out of Mike Arnold's deck. So if Mike has, we saw rituals and arenas. We didn't see hypnotic specters. I'm trying to think of the cards that we talked about him sideboarding out. Will's going to kick things off with a mountain and then a seal of fire.
Ugh, he really needs that to be a 2/1 creature.
We got 8th edition Phyrexian Arena coming to play on turn 1 thanks to a dark ritual.
And a pass from Will. Okay, Mike Arnold's in this game.
Okay. Yeah, Barbarian Ring is
Bench bar has
the
shifted.
land. I will say though, I mean, like with this early arena, you need to find a way. Like you need a warmth or you need like pressure because every turn that you play, you're dealing a damage to yourself.
So Will's just going face here. He must have a really aggressive burn hand. Huh. Okay, we'll see how it goes.
I got some noises from upstairs that are drifting down.
What?
So
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think it was actually not anyone knocking. I think it was cooking food and like a wooden spoon is being clanked against a bowl to put butter in. That was my guess, but
I wouldn't put it past him, Robin. But this is pretty funny.
it's Will just knocking on the door. He's coming to my house and he's just saying, "I'm about to win this match of Premodern."
We know that one, the old 8th edition.
That's
Is that
Infest. That's Infest.
Yeah. I think I actually have that promo.
Yeah, I don't know if I do, but I definitely got a number of those, like the Wizards Play Network promos. You would just like play enough Magic, they would just send you sweet cards in the mail. That was fun.
Oh yeah, that's how I got sweet cryptic commands.
I would say like they did that for Cryptic Command. Not a good choice of cards to have as textless.
I love the textless cryptic.
I mean, can you name all 4 modes of Cryptic Command of what they actually do?
Draw a card, tap all creatures, counter a spell, and return a non-land permanent to its owner's hand.
Can you clarify on the tapping creatures? Can you say what it actually says on the card?
It's like, is it tap or untap all creatures target player controls?
It's tap all creatures opponents controls.
Opponents.
So
Okay.
That's the one. Like if you need to draw a card, like you use that mode because that's the only one that doesn't use targets.
Oh, you can hit a land apparently with cryptic as well. I haven't played Legacy since 2015.
Yeah,
so it's been a while.
It's just not a good choice of cards. to have as text lists. I guess I should update life totals as things are progressing, and here we're reminiscing about a cryptic command.
It's primal command that just hits lands, right?
Non-creature permanent.
Non-creature, okay. Well, BK, I don't play Legacy anymore, so
I don't know if I don't know if primal command's being played in Legacy. All right, Will has shown price of progress. How much damage? That'd be dealing at least 6. This is a tainted pact. So we see is that a duress? That's a duress.
That's definitely the second one's definitely a duress. The first one
was,
would be
I don't know
land.
what the first one was, but
I think it was maybe a land.
duress seems like a very good card in this spot. Being able to take out that price of progress is worth 6 life.
So Michael is effectively at what, 2 life here?
Yes,
I think it's just over, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he'll have threshold. So 2. Yeah,
he just has to sack the sill, sack the ring.
Will can deal 6, and the Phyrexian Arena will do the 7th point. Right? There's
2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3. There's 6 cards. The Seal of Fire would be the 7th. Even if that wasn't the case, you have Wasteland targeting itself or one of Mike's lands, and you would have threshold. Yep. All the burn spells from Will, I think, will be too much for Mike Arnold, and I guess he's thinking. I mean, there's no with Sulfuric Vortex in play. Like life gain would be the only thing that like would potentially make you worry, and I don't even think there's anything in the list. So yep, this seems pretty academic.
So he's at 1. He's just dead with the arena.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, we're stacking triggers, so I mean, Mike's gonna go to 0. I thought he was gonna try to like do something until the end of turn, like the very old schools of Magic. All right, looks like the burn spells were too much for Michael and his deck, that's specifically designed to play against Will, and I just prefer that because I'm sure the cards will be different the next time we see this deck. But let's jump down the chat. We can talk to Mike and Will about the match.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Against, yeah.
That is the Vindicate art. Very rarely do I see like the older frame, so it still throws me. Like I'm used to the brighter colors of the new frame, so it like throws me when I see the older one. All I did was sideboard out 2 darts for 2 prices.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was debating about bringing in the Cursed Scroll, the second Cursed Scroll, but I was like, just as like a hedge of like, if I ever have to burn out an Angel, I have alternate damage and also getting around warmth. But I just didn't pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, obviously I needed to get like an Angel or something like that, but even though I drew off, I mean, that game went several turns. It wasn't like super fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
I drew several extra cards off of the arena, but just didn't get there with what I needed.
Yeah. All right. I think we probably should unmute ourselves and do the what now.
Probably.
Well,
how's it going, guys?
Everybody.
Hey guys, Mike. It looks like you have your deck specifically for Will in mind.
What?
Yeah.
What? This is a totally unrelated project that I've been working on.
Was there a verbal reaction from Will when he realized what you were doing?
I don't think he's even noticed.
It's just his comfort
I really
zone.
didn't. Oh, the new arts?
Yeah.
No. So that's how much I don't care about art. I don't even notice the new arts when it happens.
There's no way you're saying that you didn't notice like all the versions that he played.
No, I didn't. Like, I don't. Mike, you've talked to me in person. You know me. You know I don't care at all.
Yeah.
I appreciate it now that I've realized it, but we blanked. We just like, let's try and win the match and not draw all our lands.
Will is unfazed. He's focused. Yeah, well, you did do a very good job of that in the second game of not drawing lands. So
I mean, only I think 11 or 12 of my 18 or 19 I have. It was a little fun.
Yeah.
When you Gerard verdict, I was just like, please don't target me. Just do it to yourself. My hand at that point was like 4 lands. And it was just like, well, whatever.
Well,
let me switch my
too
camera
bad.
here.
If only. It all worked out in the end, but
I mean, absolutely. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. There we are.
But yeah, this has been a little thing. I mean, like a couple people in the know, like I messaged Flint about it, a couple months ago. And of course, like I've been like, just ping-ponging ideas with Phil Wynn, because of course he has his masterful Angel McAngel face.
I was gonna say, like that's your other deck. So like you still kind of had, if you wanted to play that against Will, you kind of still have that option of doing it. So
yeah, Phil could overnight me the deck and.
I feel bad that I didn't realize it now that I was so oblivious to all this art stuff that I just like, whatever, he's playing cards. So that's where I was.
He's playing Magic cards.
He's playing Magic cards. It's cardboard and sleeves. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Though I did have the discussion with Cole, I was like, do you think between the two of us and the people we know, I could get all original versions of every deck I play? And then I just said, nah, it's too much work.
Yeah, I was quite disappointed that there's not like enough new versions of my sideboard that are available. Null Rod having to be reserved list and all like that.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Unless I want to get like one like a proxy version of like the Vintage Masters,
I'd say like you could do it, just have it off the side. It's like, I actually have the card, it's real, but I'm doing it to troll Will, so that works. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I guess in terms of deck choice, was there a thought process between your 2 remaining decks, or do you think it was just kind of a guess? What did you anticipate your opponent bringing something?
I was hedging more on the side that Mike would actually bring Angels. That's where I thought it was going to be. It was close, but it's like I've had bad luck against both of these decks, to be 100% honest. I don't actually think my win percentage is very great. Whether it's bad luck, bad play, I don't know. So both of them actually scare me more than people say it should. I was scared more of the red deck because of its ability to handle early pressure and then drop a quicker threat like Lightning Angel or something like that. So that's where I was at. But now that I've thought about it more, and especially me and Mike talked a little bit about it, I can definitely see this choice. The 3 Exalted Angels is no joke. A Death's Grasp, if it goes off ever, is not a joke. And as we saw, Mastercore gums up a game plan real good. And you can't actually burn it out effectively. So I definitely thought it was going to be this girl. There was no way I was playing Fluctuator. I was trying half-heartedly to pretend like I was playing Fluctuator, but there's no way I can run Fluctuator into 2 decks that either have Mage or discard well, and it's a toss-up which matchup is worse for me against Blue Dreadnought, Red, or Fluctuator. So I just thought I'd go for the more likely of the 2 wins, or the more likely of the win to get to 2-0, and then just hope Elvaro never draws Dreadnoughts. I don't know. I got nothing.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I feel looking at Lanny's lineup, I'm pretty confident with a Meddling Mage deck against anything that he's bringing. Meddling Mage is quite good against it. Meddling Mage is underrated against Parfaits. It's actually very strong against Parfait. And then, Dead Guy's not great against Replenish because you're kind of naturally playing into their strategy with the discard and everything like that. You really have to manage your discard well. You pretty much either want to discard them to nothing or not discard them at all. there's not kind of like a middle ground with it. So that's kind of my thinking. I feel really confident going into week 3, bringing a turbo meddling mage deck basically against Lanny's lineup.
We like these things.
All right, I'm just checking chat to see if there are any questions. Most of them had to do with card art and whatnot. So
I'm sure most of the questions were like, "What's that card? What's that card?"
I had a decent percentage. I was pretty good about a number of them. The lands are a lot harder. Like there was one point where I was like, I don't know what land that was, and I think it was just like a snow covered swamp or something. But
Yeah.
I thought it was a non-basic because like it looked like the text was a little bit longer, but I'm like, I have no idea what it is. And yeah, I think it was just a snow-covered swamp. But,
Yeah. Anyway, it was a lot of fun doing this, but
Glad I got to commentate on the match where you did it.
I'm glad that you switched up so you could do it, Flint. I'm glad that you were in. All right, guys. Well, congrats, Will, right there. Start off with the strong 2-0, and yeah,
gonna try and keep her going. And I've had successes with Premodern, but there are definitely times where I feel like I still have something to prove. So hopefully I can do it here.
All right. Okay, with that,
good luck next week, guys.
We'll let our players go. We did finish that round a little bit earlier than expected, but I think we're going to try and see if our players are available. Otherwise, we're going to take a quick break. I guess, is there anything we want to chat about real quick for a few minutes, Flint, in terms of where we're at in the series or what we have to look forward or anything?
We already covered the land tax ban and the fact that we're going to continue to allow it in the series.
Mm-hmm.
It's typical week 2. Good games. I mean, we'll see how things flesh out as we get closer and closer to week 7.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we already have a little bit of data, but are there any sets of the composition of the decks that you really like, that you were like, oh, I think that this player did it really well? Or is it, in my mind, I feel like it's kind of just people are picking decks that kind of fit their play style and what they're comfortable with. I don't know if anyone thought about it in a way of like, oh, this is a rock paper scissors thing, and like I have things that are set up. I guess which player, if you had to pick between the set of 3 decks, which player would you take if you had to step in and play? Which 3 decks would you want?
I would not do anyone playing the rock because you and I know that I don't have a lot of success with that deck. I would probably jump in and play Jeff White's decks or Rich Shea's decks.
So Jeff has goblins, replenish, and elves, while Rich Shea has goblins, parfait, and blue-white dreadnought.
Yeah, I'd probably play Rich's decks, honestly. Jeff close second, but probably Rich's decks.
Okay. Yeah, probably I like Jared's list a lot. I like goblins, replenish, and the rock. I mean, in general, I mean, like, I like Mike Arnold's lists. I think that they're all like these mid-range decks. I mean, I guess the Dark Secret is a little bit different, but like his decks look like a lot of fun. I think I would enjoy playing those a lot. But yeah, a lot of cool variety there. Is there a person that you would pick to win?
Oh, wow.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we're gonna mute you real quick.
We're gonna mute you real quick, Jared.
Yeah. So, do you want to take a pick to win the event?
Let's see. If I was gonna pick someone, I think I would probably bet on Rich.
Okay.
Which is why I picked his decks. He's a good player, and I think those decks are all very, very, very strong. I'm in Jared Doucette.
Yeah.
I thought you had left, Jared. You're still here.
If I were looking at just the lists and the player, I'll take Tom. I'll take Tom.
So it's just reversed of last series when I picked Tom and you picked Rich.
All right,
okay.
That's fair. I mean, like, really, any of these players, and I mean, like, if Will starting out with a 2-0, I mean, like those chances too. So I mean, like any of these players, I think could win this. So with that, let's take a quick break as we get our players set up. We will be back shortly for our third round. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back for round number 3 shortly.